My name is Rhapsody. Welcome back to Monster Train. Last Divinity. Coming to 25 random. It's good to be back. Let me first start off by saying that much. It is damned good to be back, having taken a week off recording there. Didn't necessarily want to, but had to move and get internet, and then I was sick, and then before that I had a Spartan race that I had to... There was a lot of stuff going on over the last month, but it's good to be back. What do we, Exile. Ooh, status effects, the Eater, that gives us the ability to pass forward things like armor. What do we have in the base? We do have armor in the base deck. We've got those two Welder Helpers, and we've got a Void Binding. I like the idea of passing forward the buffs from Void Binding. Like, it's quite good, but it does mean you are going to often, without, Melting Remnant for the ability to clear the debuffs, right? You're often going to end up with enough Ember Drain that you can never play another card. So we would really need to focus on cost decreases for things that we think are going to be consistently useful. Like, Void Binding itself is probably going to want to be 0 cost ultimately in that. So you have the ability to hold it, overplay it again, something like that. Passing forward the statuses of the Welder Helpers seems pretty good. The only thing is I would then need to be able to kill my own Welder Helper so that it doesn't then take the Primordium's buff. So here's the world where the Primordium gets to pass forward the Welder Helper's buffs. The Primordium is sitting on the floor by itself because the Welder Helper only buffs the front forward unit, right? A Welder Helper gets played on that floor. Then another 2-size minion gets played in front of the Primordium so that it takes the buff rather than the Welder Helper. Although, I could also just put a Welder Helper in something else, at which point it has the summon apply 10 armor to friendly units, and that can project backwards onto the Primordium. I feel like I almost certainly do want to go for the status effects here. It's just how I'm ultimately going to utilize them. Yeah, you don't need to ask me twice. I've started with imps in the deck. What, are you going to turn down an Ashes of the Fallen? I don't think so. I don't think that makes any kind of sense. Let alone dollars. I did give them all 10 armor. Yeah, that's certainly a thing I did. Link's not really going to do much for us. 10 to the front rally unit 2 times. Honestly, I'd probably play that here, try and decrease the amount of times the Fortress Disciple hits us. Pact Morsel's going to be better in the future. Yeah, it actually will be, because the train suit's not going to have anyone standing behind, so we use this link here. Just get that out. Okay. So I can pop 2 Queen's Implings here. And then a Welder Helper on the top line, I guess? Train Steward's not really getting good stats. Will this really change much? Just end up killing the frontline unit, but the backline unit's the only one dealing damage there anyway. Well, I mean, this would be a chump block, effectively, if I was putting the Queen's Impling in the front line. I think I will. Alright. Come on, hey, Pact Morsels. I was about to say, literally, come on, Pact Morsels. Like, that's actually what I'm aiming for at the moment. Void Bindings, still not the best. Extra damage up here is going to be particularly important, so we will get both these Magma Morsels up there. Do I want to lock myself out of the ability to play a bunch of stuff next turn? I kind of can with the Void Binding here. Wouldn't be too bad. I don't really feel like I'm getting punished for that. Queen's Impling on the bottom line. You can have some... If ultimately taking this challenge only ends up costing us 10... I'll be fine with it. Hey, it only ended up costing us 8. I think you'll find that that means I fall within the purview of fine with it. Wretch. Return eaten units to hand. That is a way to get the Primordium back. Give it a permafrost super early on, so they only have to play it on that instance. Gives me the ability to take cards like Gorge. Means I'm less likely to take the buffet line, the stalwart snack line, to increase the amount of buffet. Because I just increase it by bringing it back. All right. Yeah, see, this is key. This decision right now. Because if I take that Fledgling Imp and I put a Welder Helper inside of it, I can get a Primordium passing forward 10 rage and 10 armor. Again, they're all doubled, right? These summon effects. If I give this endless, it's endless. I don't really know what else to say. The only thing is I am going to need a way to kill my own imps. And I have none of that available in the base deck at the moment. Is this a multiple floor solution? Steelwork is funny, right? But what we're really missing here... What we're really missing here is the ability to project forward much damage against minion lines. We can resolve that ultimately with spells, possibly. Well, can we? We'd have to get pretty opportune spell choices to be able to resolve that with spells, specifically with this clan combination. The problem is we can't project damage to the back line. We're really good at taking down bosses. Like, with this setup and with the join of those two minions, bosses are no longer a concern for us, really. I guess, like, part of our other lines, you know, quote-unquote spells, with the Queen's Implings going out. Right, they have the double summon effect. Multi-strike 1 and fragile. Pretty annoying. This is a Umbra banner next to this Merchant of Steel. Would I want a frontliner from Umbra? Or from Hellhorned? Well, there's one from Hellhorned I would really, really, really like. And that would be the Armored Imp. Armored Imp? Enraged Imp? Hellborn Imp? The new one. The new rare, right? The Imp that has an armored effect, which is anytime it gains armor, it gains an equal amount of rage. Because then that would effectively just double dip on the whole situation we're doing with the Welder Helper and the Fledgling Imp. The Welder Helper and Fledgling Imp is probably going to be also the only... Is that true? Yes. The only expenditure of extra shards I'm going to want to make in the next area. So, let's be honest. The big consideration here is, do I take the Horned Warrior? That's what the big consideration right now is. Do I? Primordium is giving 10 health, so this is a unit that already has multi-strike by base. I can't turn it down right now. The possibility exists I go over here and it's, you know, 2 shrouds. Like, what am I what am I doing with the shrouds? Oh, snow. This is exactly what I didn't want. Only because you already give 10 health forward, I feel like I can probably hold on to just that Horned Warrior. Now, rerolling here is really good for us, right? Quick is pretty good, right? It's a lot of extra HP for a Horned Warrior, should they be able to kill frontline units before the frontline units kill them right back. Multi-strike is good, and Endless is good. Endless, again, would go on the Imp situation we're talking about prior. So, take our reroll. Quick, we'll take it. Imp, get in Imp. So we want it to buff the whole floor, which means the Welder Helper is our sacrifice. Now, this is also going to come out with 1 and armor 10. So the ways we're looking to kill this would be a holdover permafrost or holdover cut cards from the deck. Because we, non-banner unit, we need to find the banner. I've explained that many, many times before. What we really need is a piercing spell that is holdover or an imp sacrifice spell that is holdover. And they need to be able to target our own units. Yes, I would absolutely love to pop the Extreme Stone or True Stone into some plinks, but no. That is not my end game plan here. That's not how I'm solving a problem, really. Gotta be careful. Don't want to end up with too many shards and then lose a run that looks like it could be pretty... You know? You know. Speaking of things that look like they're pretty... that. I'm putting a morsel on the top floor, so I should have that be the one rather than the Ember Drain getting passed forward from a Primordium. That ain't it, Chief. RE things that are it. This isn't. Now, I could pass forward Ember Drain here constantly. Honestly, if I just dropped that Void Binding on the Primordium right now, I do probably win. Oh. How do you turn down winning? I don't want to do that. Now I can't even use the Queen's... well, I guess you'll Wretch a also back out. Pact. Go out there. Do I want to leave these in the cycle? Yeah, I'll leave those in the cycle still. So we took 9 damage. I don't think we should be taking any more damage to this, but I hope I'm not wrong. No, we're fine. So I could use Prismal Dust to pass forward a bunch of damage shields. Right? And Lifesteal. The only problem is, like, damage shields and Lifesteal are both 2 ways to try and accomplish a similar task. In different ways, definitely. They are different. They have different edge cases, different effects. But they cannibalize the effect of one another, right? If an enemy hits you and you don't take damage, you hit them back with Lifesteal and you don't heal anything because you didn't take damage. But it also feels like both of those are other ways to approach armor, which is another thing that we're already doing in the deck. Not super effectively, but it will be more effective over time. I feel like what I'm ultimately trying to say is I feel like these are worse ways to accomplish what we're already accomplishing. Or what we already have the ability to accomplish, rather. Is there a problem with putting another Welder Helper in here? I'll tell you the problem with putting another Welder Helper by base in is that the Welder Helper is like a normal Welder Helper that is buffing a frontline friendly unit is only useful should I play it on, well, only maximally useful should I play it on turn 1 behind a Primordium. But the problem there is that if I guess I could put the Horned Warrior behind the Primordium. But I was about to say, the problem there is that if the Primordium's in the front line, then I played the Primordium, then I played the Welder Helper, and then after that I have to play the Horned Warrior. That's the order implied by that, if I want the Horned Warrior ultimately to be in front. Which means that the Primordium is passing forward Ember Drain on that first turn. I think Fortify and Ritual of Battle are also 2 different ways of accomplishing the same. Like, this is already Rage 5 2 times. That's a Ritual of Battle. Passing. Need to keep it simple. Well. I'll be. So I'm probably going to the Merchant of Steel because I'm still fishing for 2 different things. In Multi-Strike and Endless. Actually, if I intend to sacrifice one of these into the Horned Warrior, that's what we're obviously considering right now, right? The unit essences here. If I was going to sacrifice one of those into the Horned Warrior, it wouldn't be the Alpha Friend. Yeah, the Alpha Friend has scaling, but that's what the whole Primordium fledgling stuff is doing. That's our scaling, right? What we need is better initial stats. We would put a Demon Friend in it. So 3 cap, 1 cap. You can then much more easily take another multi-strike. The only problem there is then the fledgling imp cannot be played on the same floor because of the capacity size. Capacity realm. We've also just finished our second battle, and we've already seen our card drafts from it, which means I'm not going to find another Space Prism. I can find, you know, the other space increasing things, but it's significantly less likely now. Does that mean I go capacity? I don't really want to go capacity, though. Because the deck is going to be very, very core around Primordium, Horned Warrior, this Fledgling Imp. Like, those and Wretch, I would actually legitimately cut every other card from the deck right now. Every single other one, and it would be infinitely better for it. So it feels like, you know, 2 different ways of accomplishing that kind of velocity through your deck. Cutting cards and increasing draw. So we have 2 more opportunities otherwise to find something that could fit into the into the Horned Warrior. I am hesitant to give the Horned Warrior a inert Gorge ability. That is to say, I don't want to merge it with the Alloyed Construct. Despite the fact that it would get multi-strike, it also then needs fuel. So if I ever miss a morsel drop into it, suddenly it just lets a whole line through. And that's not where we want to be. That would require that I miss this Merchant of Steel in order to, what? Like, what spell upgrades do I really have that I want right now? If I got Forever Flame, so all of our imps were 1 cost, I would start running this as an Ember Drain deck. But immediately, I would just upgrade Void Binding. But without it, I can't. A Morsel Maker, so it gives itself +6/+6. Because that happens at a resolve step rather than at, like, each combat phase. It's pretty rough. Man, I'm stalling, but I really, really, really want to take the Demon Friend and just put it into the... Like, I feel like if I move away from this, I'm going to regret it. There is part of my body that will not let me move on from this choice yet. It's relentlessly asking me to reconsider. And it's not like, reconsider, and then I'll accept whatever you happen to come up with. It's more of a reconsider until you get it right. Screw you, body! You ain't in control of me! I've made a mistake. See, it still won't let me move. Holdover, permafrost, right? Well, not holdover for Fetch. It's Wretch, rather. It's permafrost we're looking for there. Which Umbra units would I really want to be putting into it? That's a good question. Let's go to the logbook for a second. Excuse me? Video game? Where is it? Ah, there we are. Umbra unit. So would I put a Crucible Collector into it? Or a Crucible Warden? I guess. Yeah. Probably. Overgorge, yes, definitely. Ember Forge isn't even a banner unit, so I wouldn't see it there. I wouldn't put Morsel Master in. I just made my case as to why I wouldn't put the Alloyed Construct in. Shadow Eater, maybe if that did the AoE damage, I would, but it doesn't, so I won't. No, I'm fine not taking an Umbra unit here. We're going across. Please give me my Endless. I'm desperate. Or multi-strike. Look, I'll take either. Both. First card. We are going to be exceedingly happy to purge cards in this deck. Multi-strike or Endless. Just don't you dare large stone me. To be clear, there are 4 upgrades. Large stone, quick, large stone. And how long is it until I get another? So Merchant of Steel here, but it opposes a Unstable Vortex and Concealed. And then there's a Merchant of Trinkets, Merchant of Steel here, but it opposes a Merchant of Trinkets. I just got doomed. What? Not doomed. It's not doom and gloom. But I am being forced to continue this. Continue searching for a lot longer than I'd otherwise like. Gonna have to chump with the Queen's Impling here and then go for a Primordium behind and a Horned Warrior behind that. This gives us the maximum possible time to buff the Horned Warrior. I also could have tried to clear the bottom floor, but that's going to be easy with Plinks later on. Like, it's not going to be a problem. Speaking thereof. Seven, 12, and then the 5 hits back. Yeah, this is totally fine. You go there. Do I want energy for the next turn? I guess? Plinks are really doing bad today. Alright, we'll take some morsels. Some lifesteal there on the top line. That's not going to be relevant at all because you attack first. Yeah, these don't really do anything. Just sack them. Are we Void Binders? No, it'll stop me from playing the Fledgling Imp. Okay, I think I've solved this one. Plink the bottom line, get ourselves some resources. We Queen's Impling double there. Queen's Impling again behind. We lose that front line. Why don't we use... Oh, because you attack first. So I thought I was going to lose both of these, but I'm not going to. The Horned Warrior is too quick for me. Well, it's okay. I already have a strong enough line. Jump block there, I guess. Yeah, I'm not just throwing away the rest of these. Don't need them. They're all clutter between me and my... Oh my god, you are so rude. God, maybe I do go capacity. I really didn't want to. Yeah. No two ways around this one. We've got it. Come on, transcend him. The problem with One Horn's Tome, well, other than that I cannot cast it, is that passing forward fragile would be really rough. It might eventually be okay. Right now? No. Because I'm not... With it, it's so hard for me to get the armor to actually pop. But you're going to be passing forward Divine Shield soon. It's going to be passing forward Divine Shield soon. How uncastable is a One Horn's Tome? Because passing forward multi-strike is certainly... It's good. What's good? It's pretty uncastable. In order to try and find a unit to merge, like the final opportunity to merge a unit with Hellhorns, it's going to be here. Right? And then I really still need Endless or Multi-Strike. I'll take either. Just offer me one of... Like, it's a 50-50 and I keep getting the wrong one every... What's that? It's numbers. It's not doing well. I need to roll that there because I don't want to roll it here because I want to go to the Merchant of Trinkets, especially because I am already... Like, not only has it got a Hersal Sword and Unstable Vortex, this is exactly perfect for me because it has the Imp relics would transform this run. A lot of Umbra relics transform this run. Like, that is value for me. That area is so much value. I can't turn that down. So when am I getting to my first Merchant of Magic? Down here, really? And that's where I'm upgrading the One Horn's Tome to be playable? Unless this has Value Stone. But even then, I need to get One Horn's Tome like in my opening hand. And then it'd have to be Value Stone as well as a cost removal so that I can actually play my minion. Is this a concealed cavern? It's not a concealed cavern. This is, but I'm avoiding that side. So we actually also don't have a concealed cavern for a while. The big problem is we have a good trajectory right now. We have double summon abilities. We have the ability to project damage to a later line. We have pretty much exactly the unit we want with the Primordium passing forward the buffs. We have the ability to get it back. We have the ability to play into an Ember Drain line. We have a really good trajectory, but we're also purging cards from our deck. We also intend to merge 2 units in the next area. We are about to get a bunch of pack shards. If I take this, knowing that I'm not going to be able to use it for at least 4 floors... What am I doing? I'm losing. What I'm doing is losing. I'm sacrificing the run. Alloy of the Ancients versus Spike of the Hellhorn. Which of those would I go with? Honestly, probably just Alloy of the Ancients. Just get some more defense on deck. Damn. That'll do it. That'll do it. That's the unit that we want to put inside. Well, I mean, honestly, pretty much all of these are viable possibilities. But to me, it's the Branded Warrior, right? Passes its own rage back, which it then gets back at the end of the turn. It's a self-fulfilling cycle. It's a beautiful Ouroboros of anger. Now is it Light of the Seraph? I actually don't see morsels playing a big role in this deck. Ultimately, I think I don't care about these, and I'm not upgrading these. I'm just removing them. So what, we're going over this side now because we don't need to hit the Hellhorn banner. So we got another roll at a relic, a little bit more money. Pyromades? I don't really need the Pyromades. I still kind of want to go over here. What would I even be duping, though? I guess I could dupe this Fledgling Imp. Then I'd be looking to give it Endless. 2 different copies of it. I know I'm taking so long on these decisions. I do apologize. Yeah, I'm still going over this way. The removal of cards from my deck is still everything, frankly. Get out of here, you stewards! Also want the plinks out of here as well. Actually, let's get a plink out. Get plonked. Helvend is going to give us the Fledgling Imp dupe. We go here. Yeah, I'm well aware. I'm well aware I'm taking big risks. I know. I ultimately think they are going to be worth them, but it's also possible that I'm wrong. It happens, you know? Consistently. God, I need to cut so many cards from this deck right now. Enemy sent to a Spell Shield 2. Well, I don't really reliably kill anything with Spell Shield, so have at it. Okay, so that'll keep my front unit alive. But it won't. What's that? Takes you to 30-something. I need the Horned Warrior to start killing things. So I can play this. But then I also need to give the Void Binding to the Horned Warrior so that it actually kills the Clip Defender, and then it's starting to give Slay back to the back line. So it's starting to actually ramp its damage. Because if it ramped much slower than that, we're actually kind of screwed. Well, here I just get rid of morsels. You can see what's happened. Like, the damage is balled absolutely a heck out of control. Pack morsel again. Let's get damage there, and then a welder helper. Do a bit more buffing. Why does Wretch always comes at the exact worst time for me as soon as I've decided to fill these slots with other things? I just need to be able to kill my own imps. Please, Hellhorn, give me the spells to kill my own imps. I beg of you. I mean, there's no two ways around this one. That's just obvious. Yeah. I don't think I take Ember Cache. It's still just another card between me and the things that I need to get online, and they are so stringent about my timing! God! Thank you! Every card needs to get out of this deck. Excuse me, thank you, please get. Yeah. That's the sound it makes when it gets removed. They're suction cupped into the deck, each of these individual cards. I have 2 copies of the Imp now. Am I really going to say that I am looking for Endless in the final store? Is that what I do? Can I avoid this Merchant of Steel? Honestly, it's not even multi-strike. It's Endless. Permafrost, good target. Holdover, good target. I'm not going to count double stack. So on this side, multi-strike Endless. This side, Permafrost, Holdover. +2 removals. If I get 100% screwed on this, I am going to be a little salt. I'd say little. I mean, entirely salt-based. I will be a salt. We can still use double stack. Don't get me wrong. We can use double stack there. It's not at all what it needed to be for me, though. If we had a Pyre Chomper, I would take the Unbroken Form. Well, that is now the final upgrade it gets, so... But it did just buy us extra space on the same floor. I should have removed a card there. I want this artifact. I cannot take this artifact. It'll kill so much of my Divine Shield. Let's get some more damage on deck. Just get rid of what we can. Wretch always turns up too early for me. So rude. Oh, because it's stealthed is how I kill the... Oh, that's cool. Gimme Morsel Miner! Yeah! I do like the Imps kind of holding off the lower lines for a little bit. Can't play useless chumps here, though, for the overcharged tank's harvest ability. Thank you, game. Fledgling. Murder it. Fledgling. Welder helper. Unfortunately, we only get one turn of passing those forwards right now, but hey, it's a lot better than none. I can't kill that backliner. $11. So you get to hit us 5 times before we die, which means 150 damage goes back to you. And you hit us first. So you're going to leave this encounter. Because, like, I can't kill the frontliners with the just random Queen's Implings or anything like that. Like, I can project more damage with a Void Binding or something like that on the back. I guess I have to. It's maximum damage I can project the backline here. We should live. It's not going to be comfy. We do live. Too many things behind you. Speaking of too many things behind here as well, actually. Silent Marksmen in the front line aren't dying. What have I got in my draw pile? I got some queens. No, those are consumed. My discard pile's empty. This is almost my entire deck right now. I need to find a way where I can kill the overcharged tank. Or, sorry, I need to kill one of the imps. Sorry, one of the Silent Marksmen. We put a Morsel Jeweler in the front line. It tanks 1 hit. It tanks 2 more with the Void Binding. Wait. But it dies after the second, so it can't actually kill a Silent Marksman. It was... It's Shiny Steward. Then we put that down. Ah, gosh. It's going to be a whole ass hassle. We needed to get the Divine Shield from that into the Train Steward. And then the Train Steward got the Damage Shield. So it would have had Damage Shield 3. So it would have survived the whole floor, and then it would have killed one of the Silent Marksmen back, which would have given us the ability with just the 2 multi-strike, or rather 1 multi-strike, 2 hits, to kill the back line. Without exclusively that play, we just definitely lose. Go there. You were going for damage. We decided to give damage and that, and then we sacked these on the bottom line. We gave that there. We complained about Wretch going to the early, but then also, oh, we're going rifle liner out of it, so probably not too mad about that. And then we went back to this floor. We dropped 2 Queen's Implings. And then we were surprised by the fact that we were killing the backliner. I actually don't need to drop a second Queen's Impling here, but I don't want to go back and just optimize other plays. I just want to fix the one that I did wrong. The biggest one that I did wrong, at least. And then I didn't play anything else on the bottom line because the overcharged tank would have taken him. Then here we just focused on buffing up the top floor. We went Welder, destroyed you, went for a Fledgling. I think I went Queen's Impling down here and a Queen's Impling up here. But that'd be 2 AoE kills for the team now. What did I do? Huh. This one's harder to remember. I feel like it was something like that. Definitely killed one of my own Queen's Implings up here, because I remember not being thrilled about that. Also doing significantly less damage here, too. Did I sequence myself back into dying? Take a second here. 134? Okay, I took even more damage this time. And now I have completely different things. Really complicate those things while you go. It's fine, we'll put that down. Magnum also goes behind that, kills the frontliner. Now everything is resolved. In a worse way as it was before. That reset cost us. You know what? Primordium, Morsel Miner, Void Binding. Pass forward everything. We're going full Ember Drain. Even more. Nice. Just want to be able to chump block around on each floor. Well, I guess that doesn't even really chump block a full round. you, another morsel miner out there. And that is 23 stacks of damage shield, so my estimation is that ought to be enough. Just hoping that that bears itself out. Got him. Beast. So what this fight just brought attention to is how do we kill 3 big dudes? We can't. We can't right now. At least not very effectively. Could Battering Ram be part of that? Sure, it could. Much of trinkets, unstable vortex, Herzl sword. Do I just get a second important work? Until the imps are endless, it's gonna start being bad, but I like it. I do like it. +4 stacks of armor each time it's applied to a friendly unit. +2 capacity on the middle floor. We're not heavily attached to the top floor. So Mind Jacks would actually be the ability to kind of play as many morsels and things as we want. The units entering with rage is actually also pretty good. Just immediately starts passing rage forward on the Primordium anytime we play it. Apply Daze 3 and Melee Weakness 1 to enemy units on the bottom floor in the first wave of combats. That makes it a lot easier for us to cut down the first line of them. That makes it a lot easier to set up on floor 2. Right there. Let's get the 2 shiny stewards out. Have a wee look in here. Value stone, true stone, no thank you stone. Merchant trinkets. I mean, even Railhammer here isn't bad. I feel like I don't have damage problems, and I don't have How do I... I feel like I don't have damage problems as much as I have, or defensiveness problems as much as I have projection problems, right? So how do you solve projection when you've like just straight up whiffed on finding spells that actually deal damage to enemies or even your own units in that way? And you're not in a great clan combination for it? You put more units on a floor. If it's not a spell solution, you put more units on a floor. There's a hell vent here and a hell vent here. What I'm proposing is that we take the mine jacks, we set up on the middle floor, we set up a branded warrior with a horned warrior in the front, and then immediately behind it, we set up another branded warrior with a horned warrior in. We use the armor dropped by, the AoE armor dropped by welder helpers in order to protect the second one. The second one is just damage projection. Every card I cut from the deck right now increases our power level by, like, I would estimate, like, a 7%. And, well, it scales upwards, right? 7, 9. These are rough numbers. What I'm trying to say is that it makes a dramatic difference, but slightly less than 10%. Okay. We love this. Do I Queen Zimpling this bottom line? Then important work them? I guess so. Because I do just want to get rid of the Queen Zimplings out of the cycle as quickly as possible. Primordium out. I both do and do not want to feast here. I don't because I want to pass more buffs forwards. I do because I want to be able to hit Wretch at the right time. That sucks. Apparently the last hand is the one that holds all the value here for me. Also, as it turns out, had I gorged, I actually would have been able to play the Primordium again this turn and then get all the buffs out on the field. So ultimately that would have been better off in approximately all ways. Good. Let's just sack this elsewhere. Sure, more damage. Let's try and unit sack on that floor too. That should be enough. Yeah. It is time to Wretch. Get the Primordium back out. I think we'll just make space for minions now. For morsels, sorry, that is. 1, 2, 3. Chomp, 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 chomp. Another one there. Welder helper, so I can sack it on a later turn. Yeah, no units of contrition that I have to worry about here. Non-morsel units. You don't count as a morsel, do you, Primordium? You count as 3 morsels in a trench coat. Yeah, champion. So I wouldn't be able to replay it on this floor without triggering the blinding dark shot, unfortunately. Void binding, and then I think I'm done. Void binding, we're done here. And we draw back into the Wretch, which now I can play. Primordium back out on board. And other minions, and then chomp, 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 and then we pop you back on board again. This is ultimately what I was trying to get the deck towards, right? When I was talking about the only 4 cards that matter. Sure. The Wretch. Is this an argument that I go capacity? Is that what this is? Because I'm about to dupe another Hellhaunt unit? Heck, I could dupe 2 of them if I really wanted to. I'll keep an eye on it. Certainly. Bring him back. I'm not done with him yet. Alright, boss. We eat him, then we bring him back. Go again. I'm not worried about the patience abilities at all, by the way, just in case that's a consideration. One Horn's Tome, eh? One Horn's Marissa Tome, eh? Yes and no. Yes, but no. But yes. But also no, to be very clear. I don't think I take it here. I think the big reason that I don't take it is because I already have a plan, and a good plan at that, for getting my ability to project the damage across the board. And it's still something that I would have to find a way to work into my build. I still don't have the ability to hardcast this, for instance. Like, how am I going to actually play it? I think I do go to capacity as well. I tried desperately to avoid capacity, but sometimes the game just says, this is not what you're doing. Oh, Divine Mark of an Exile. I don't need it, and I don't need Divine Scorched Steel, and I definitely don't need the Divine Mark of a Champion. But, like, they're all good for this build. They're all things that our champion would pass forward consistently. Like, it's... I don't want to turn them down, but they also aren't necessary. Merge up the 3 cards. Yep. Yep. The thing is, ultimately, these need endless so that their important works aren't dead. At the moment, these Queen Simplings serve a purpose. I don't want to get rid of the packed morsels, but they consume as well. God. I can get rid of you. No, but it's... No, I just need to get to my key cards faster in the first cycle. Remove things indiscriminately. I'm already bound to try and go this way because I need endless. So does that mean that I want to avoid this area up here? ultimately, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our mid floor has the capacity of 7. Three, 2, 2. I can dupe the Horned Warrior twice. And should. Cleansing water. Could help us. Gonna be real hard to sell me anything here. Urgestone? Put one of these in another. Actually becomes a pretty good unit after that. It's 4 times the effect. Value Stone, as it turns out, actually would have made it possible for me to play the Hellhorn tome, but we couldn't count on that. Would may have been the right. Almost enemy units just all over the move. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, they can totally do that because I'm not killing them on any other floor, so they might as well do it there. Primordium. Drop a Hellhornium. Morcelium, a Phlegium as well, likely. It's gonna work fine. Jump. Admittedly, feeling less comfortable right now. Dazed. Killing. I've got a Queen's Impling I can play on that top floor in the next line. Maybe I don't need the extra capacity of the mid floor here. Maybe what I need is the extra turns growth. I think so. I think so. Because we can't do it on the top. What's there? What's there? What's there? Do I care more about health or damage? I care more about damage. Oh, is that why? No, wait, I didn't play a morsel on the bottom floor in the first time. Did I? Sorry, a morsel, an imp. It's because that is removing because the enemies aren't attacking it, so that's removing the enemy's melee weakness, which is part of what I'm relying on. It's why we took the faulty loader over other options. You sit there, bud. You just stay frosty, bud. Fine. I gave myself an ember drain there that I didn't need because obviously I could just kill my own imp or whatever. Multiple different ways around. I'll also delete you, actually. Yeah. This is a pretty prime example of why we needed to set up on the top floor. And I eat you. Not the result I was looking for, but it'll do. Got rid of the rest of the imps. And now it's just a game of yucking them up and then throwing them back down. The only non-zero cost card in my deck right now is Void Binding. If this was zero cost, I would actually just be able to play it with impunity. Good inclination, I should probably make it so. Jump on him. You actually leave the backline alive as a result of that one. You take 30 damage. One, 2, 5, so you go down, and then we feast. That's Primordium, Entumbra, Magma. We can do this. We can definitely do this. There's enough optimizations in this fight. More than enough, frankly. So we start with the Packed Morsel still. We go damage. Warrior goes down. Primordium goes down. And Tumbra and the Fledgling. Chop sack you, hard pass. That all follows. Then we don't just randomly give ourselves an Ember Drain that we don't need to take here. To be clear, that doesn't seem like a good idea to me. You double play, we sack you. Start pulsing forward armor, and we don't want to buff that Shadewing. That Shadewing also should never really get to the final area. But I am also running out of cards in the deck, so I can just leave these. Beautiful. Are we are we in the world of Void Binding yet? Yes, we are. We can totally play that this turn. I shouldn't eat preemptively, because then I deprive myself of the ability to pass forward Rage. He's dead at the end of the turn anyhow. One thing I can also do is just leave one Impling here as an extra attacking unit. I kind of like that. I'm quite under the weather, unfortunately. Thought I was okay today. Pass forward as much Ember Drain as you like. It doesn't matter to me. Okay. I mean, knowing that Wretch is in my next hand, I'll just feast here. Just get the Queen Simpling to sack itself there. Now that whole line goes down. Queen Simpling on the bottom line actually might have been a better play. But I think just due to having the Fledgling Imp will be okay. You go there, you go there. Just having the extra unit there for... It's effectively just an extra multi-strike, right? Yeah. This, as we can see, with this kind of resolving as neatly as it has, there were so many ways to accomplish this. I would have felt bad moving away from it. I have to say, by the way, thank you to everyone who's been, honestly, far more than should be necessary, supportive in terms of the format change, in terms of there being a bit more... A bit is a little bit of an understatement, especially for this episode, but a bit more resetting. It's taken a lot of the pressure off. The pressure was making you... It was making it sometimes like I'd record 2 episodes a day and I'd publish 1, you know, like makes it a lot easier. Appreciate it. Turn those eaten units, bud. Let me re-eat those units. A nice. I'll do another chomp chomp. And then a sick murder. I shouldn't want to eat it that fast. I don't think so. Well, I mean, Inflame can be passed forward. Ember Box can give us... Well, Imps. Could give us Endless. Could give us Return Consume for, I guess, Alloy of the Ancient. That's actually pretty big. Can't give us Endless, sorry. It can give us the Transcendent. It might just be good to have more fodder in the deck for the important works to be able to hit. Don't like that I have to do this. Find me Endless, please. 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 You're dead to me. You've never existed. You're that dead. You've never existed. I can't. Why would you? Ah. Only response there. Units get an extra upgrade slot. Oh. Okay. Well, okay. So I'll... You're not... When I said dead... what I meant was not that. Okay? I misspoke. I stuttered. What? A guy can't stutter in his house anymore? We're fine. It's probably time to get morsels out of this deck. Excuse me. Like daze to enemy units when they enter the room below the pyre floor. 2 capacity. 1, 1, 1. Rotating slots of imps. We could set up on that top floor. But being able to save an extra card for next turn specifically, pretty good. Unless I draw a whole hand and then I don't need all of the cards and then it starts getting awkward, but future problem. You are very clearly going to be a multi-strike. Horned Warrior, I don't feel like I need to justify that one too much. Can purge another card from the deck. There's a temptation to purge Void Binding, but I know I don't need to. Temptation's there, though. Spell Chain. I think I Spell Chain Feast? It's a little strange, I'll admit, but I think that's okay. And then with Feast hitting a Spell Chain, then I need to remove Void Binding. Because I can't just Ember Drain the hell out of myself. It should work. Well, this is rude. I just want to play all of these. Maybe I don't important work here. Maybe that's our key. Am I setting up on the top floor or mid? I keep forgetting if Seraph actually, if this Seraph rather actually does summon. Gets your frontline gains strength for every spell or unit cast. I keep forgetting which of the Seraphs actually summon Lightwings. That's something I should just definitely know by now. But if it does summon Lightwings, I need to set up on the top floor. If it doesn't, I don't need to set up on the top floor, so. Orc. Yeah, it summons Lightwings, as it turns out. Get eaten 2 times here as well. And then feast thereafter, actually. So... Horned Warrior. We... Fledgling through. We sack you. Also, Imp in a box. I mean, like... Yeah, I could put these somewhere. I have Slay triggers here on the top floor, so I do want them to get to the top floor. Is a key factor here. Okay. And then I am going to... Double Feast and then Wretch and replay the Primordium. Just a lot more damage shield on that front line for us. I don't think I do the double feast there this time, though. Simpling, sack you. Simpling. Trying to let more rage get passed forward. Okay, I no longer have any imps to sack. Excuse me. Guess I feast. Sack this one elsewhere. You back out on the board. A cool ass deck right here. Feast. Feast. Wretch. Put it back out on the board. We've got what? 34 damage shield here. If this, by the way, if we had the instead of Mind Jacks, actually, because we only did play on the mid floor in one line, so actually it may have been correct not to ultimately take that, but I didn't know I was going to take License Seraph anyway. But if we had the Rage 3 here, we'd be passing that forward so many times as well. This would be ridiculous. It is ridiculous, to be clear. But it could be ridiculouser. The ridiculosity could be improved. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Go back out. This one's about done, I feel like. Turn it over, it's done on this side. Yeah, that feels pretty conclusive. All right, TLD. Whoa! Whoa! We finally got this as well. Malika the Titan emerges in front of you. Yet again, her playful demeanor replaced by a stern, solemn face. If time is in a loop, death is not the end. I could have fought back, you know. Put an end to this thing before it began. Instead, I fled. Now nothing can bring back my fallen kin. Herzl, my first and maybe only friend, was like a brother to me, and I left him for dead. Please help me make this right. On your own! Of course, of course. We gotta go for the new dialogue. What are you talking about here? Guess I just take a Queen's Impling out, because I do want to keep the rest of the cards, even the 2 important works. Thank you. With my powers, you should at least have a chance to make things right. The pact is a tricky thing, but it guarantees you an opening at the divine. If you're successful, I may never see you again. If not, then may we meet again in the next cycle and try again. I see, I see, I see. I didn't necessarily read her as an antagonistic force to the divine prior. I kind of thought she was just taunting us on its behalf, frankly. I mean, we still just hard set up on the top line, but we can make sure we don't pass forward any Ember Drain here at least. You can't go down until I can actually buff you. Actually, that kills us. We can't set up in that way. Because if we do set up on the top floor, I was thinking we were going to be able to set up on the top floor because, yeah, it's going to sweep through, but Primordium's got damage shield, and the front line's got damage shield, and I'm putting armor through the line. This was, I was planning back before we actually hit the last Merchant of Steel that I was going to be sitting on the top line. The reason I can't do that is because I can't get multiple triggers of the Welder Helpers, so I'm not actually AoE passing armor consistently, so it would actually just end up losing all my Branded Warriors. Good lord, I am not feeling well. But I want to record. Oh. How dare the fates intervene? I do intend to sacrifice both of the imps, right? No. Right. Because sacrifice both of the imps is the way to get down to the branded warrior. I don't like that I'm playing around the knowledge of the fact that there's another branded warrior there. But the reality of the situation is what I actually need to do is have a Queen's Impling chump block here in the first round. Because then I just need the damage shields from the Primordium afterwards. So that Queen's Impling goes there, and then Fledgling goes behind. Pretty enthused by the board state that I see ahead of me right now. Good. I think I imp box now too. I don't think I start feasting here though. Definitely not like that one. So I do want to be passing forward all of this rage. Okay. But here, I can definitely afford to do it. I'll get rid of the extra purge on a different line and then just Queen's Impling stack there. I was about to say, by all rights, we ought to have the damage here, and we do. Okay, these are our 9 cards left. Next round, it's time for Feast Reach. Wretch. Sorry, not Reach. So now we go chomp. Bring you back. I don't have an extra buff here right now, so I guess I want to focus on just tanking up the damage shield for a while, so I will go for another chomp. That might as well be in the discard pile or the draw pile right now. I'm getting into my next hand anyway. Chomp. Just to be clear, chomp. I will also be leaving that Fledgling Imp there as an extra line. We found previously that was a pretty good tact to take. Chomp. Yuck. Primordium. Chomp. This one now just plays itself very much. Although, thankfully, for the lack of repetition across the course of this episode, it won't be playing itself for much longer. Chomp. Yuck. Play it. Chomp. Nice. Good fun. The only problem is, when I look at this deck, I see two things. Hell yeah, cool deck. And then, immediately after that, man, I wish I was doing this with an offering totem. Can you imagine? It's an infinite. The Offering Totem gets health, and then the cast gets you the incant, which draws you the cards. You just build it as large as you want. It's an infinite. We'll have to roll the old Stygian clan one of these days in order to take advantage of that, but for the moment, as we earn our crown there, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Monster Train, specifically the last Divinity thereof. Just waiting for this old custom challenge code to pop up. Oh, it's beautiful. We've just taken down, with the help of Malika, the Divine. According to what Malika said there, we're not going to have to do this again. We've broken out of the loop. We could retire. We could spend the rest of our days in harmony, just surfing sunrises. For the moment, my name is Rhapsody. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.